we worked with a number of school bus operators across the country to look at how they're going to transition their fleet to electric and what they do with that. One example is we worked with Dean Transportation in Michigan, one of the largest operators in the state, and really their desire, and this was funded through a grant through the state of Michigan, their desire was to say, okay, once we receive our first 300 electric buses, what do we do with them? Where do we deploy them? What is the low-hanging fruit? So really a lot of transition work to help them understand where they should put it in what school districts and which routes and how all that looks. And we actually had to update our model to be customized to school bus in the way that it's operating. Like, as you can appreciate, school districts and schools, the children change month to month. Like they may leave, new children may enroll, so they constantly are changing their routes. So we had to develop a new tool to be able to essentially randomize pickups of children to determine how much, how to do the electrification essentially for them. Yeah, I mean, overall, there's still a lot of interest in electrification. There's a desire to do it. Certainly, the trend is looking at vehicle to grid and how that all plays into this equation and whether it makes sense. And also just, the utilities themselves being ready to receive that electricity. I mean, a lot of times there's a desire for this V to G, but there's no, G to accept the, essentially the electricity. So that's part of the equation that still needs to be solved. Yeah, certainly with the rising costs in diesel and alternative fuels, there's a renewed interest definitely in electrification. We're definitely seeing a lot of interest, and it's causing folks to rethink their approach and their desire and the speed and the velocity at which we do this transition. There was a little bit of a lost momentum over the last year, but certainly it's gaining traction very quickly. We're seeing that, and there's been a lot of outreach and interest on that front. So with our AI-driven approach, something that we heard very loud from school bus operators and other operators was, the need for data and the ability to be able to resolve incidents with their chargers and with their buses or whatever vehicle they're operating. So we really dug into that and leaned into it and invested heavily into our incident management system. So we're able to, look at trends and clean noise. Like a lot of times chargers just put off a lot of noise, and it's not necessarily a problem, but it's there. It's a data point. So through machine learning and AI, we're able to clean that data set and say, okay, this is really a problem that somebody needs to react to. So it's just driving those kind of intelligent insights to be able to really manage that and also have the criticality level to that. Like if this, this problem happens, then this is severity level very high. So you're able to triage it too. So that's been certainly of interest. And also on the dispatch integration side, we're definitely pushing there to be able to automate the dispatching. So let's say, we understand there's this particular route that needs to be run and it needs this state of charge to complete. Well, this bus is ready to go. It could, assign it to that piece of work. So automating all that too, machine learning and AI. I think next we continue down this path that we've started. Certainly there's that momentum again and velocity to do the switch. And I think just that renewed interest and continuation, I think we'll see there's better tools and sharper tools in terms of being able to drive that efficiently and be able to get the result that we're trying to achieve at the end of the day. I mean, that's the goal. Moving children cleanly, ultimately. There's a desire on the school district part to do transition to electric. There's also the desire from operators to do the same, but without the funding or the financial support to do that, neither is moving forward. And that's really the Achilles heel, is that, unless there's some funding here to drive this, and thankfully there still is some trickling through the system, I think ultimately that's really the thing that adds the complexity to the transition. It's not lack of desire.